Well, hey, my name is Rob Snitko, and I'm one of the pastors at Faith Fellowship in Marshfield, and we have something so exciting that is coming to Marshfield in just a few weeks. We all have some sort of addiction that we're struggling with, whether that be drugs, alcohol, chemicals, food, sex, relationships, just to name a few. And if we don't struggle with these things, we know somebody who does. And so whether you're personally struggling or know somebody who struggles, we just want to introduce you to something called the New Beginnings Conference that is going to be at Faith Fellowship on Friday, October 1st from 6 to 9 p.m. and Saturday, October 2nd from 8:30 to 4:30. Carol Sheehan, joining me here, has diligently been working and preparing for this conference. Carol, tell us a little bit about yourself and why you're passionate about this conference.
Yes, I am passionate about this conference. As Rob said, my name is Carol Sheehan, and I work at Shirley's House of Hope, and I work with clients there using a curriculum called the Genesis process, which is an addiction recovery curriculum. And through this curriculum, I've realized the tremendous impact it has on people. And I just am so excited to get a smaller version of what this provides to our clients out into the public. And that's what this New Beginnings Conference is. It's just a taste of freedom and help for those struggling with addictions. And it's just some great information for people who want to come alongside others and help them. So I'm excited about it.
And so you've used the Genesis process curriculum before. How have you seen that kind of work out?
Yes, I use it on a daily basis at Shirley's House of Hope, and it really gives practical information, practical tools with a biblical foundation on how to recover from addiction. And it's just very insightful. I've seen it work. I've seen it completely change lives. And when I've walked through this with ladies, I've just said, we need to get this into the public because it really does make a difference. And personally, I've used a lot of the tools in my own life, and I feel like they're very helpful to those that are steeped in addiction or those who have these little things that, maybe we can work on ourselves.
Yeah, and so the New Beginnings Conference is going to be welcoming a special guest out of Las Vegas. And tell us more about this guest and what he has to offer to the people here in Marshfield.
Sure. His name is Dean Perry, and he is an associate that works for the Genesis process. Michael Dye is the founder of the Genesis process. And Dean goes around and he does various trainings to learn how to use the information in a place like Shirley's House of Hope. And he also does these weekend trainings, which is more about getting out broad strokes of what the curriculum is and helping to come alongside churches and organizations and really bring change. And that is his goal for the weekend, and we're just so excited to have him. He is going to bring just a wealth of information to our community. Yeah,
and it's so needed in our community and all communities where people are constantly struggling, and there's an opportunity to really grow and learn from various tools to be able to, kind of get through those things. Yes. And so this New Beginnings Conference, it's coming here, and so what is this conference in and of itself looking to accomplish?
Well, several things. So we want to help people who are struggling, for sure. I mean, that's one definite top priority. If you are struggling in an addictive issue, we want you to feel like you can come, hear some practical tools, get some real help. And so it's for those people. It's also for those people who are in helping, in wanting to help. We all might have someone in our lives, a sister, a brother, a family member, a friend, a neighbor, who we don't know how to come alongside of them, but we want to help. And so it's for you. It's a place where you can come and hear how to listen and how to come alongside others in a healthy way. And then the third area that we hope to focus and accomplish is to bring together community groups. So, for example, organizations like Shirley's House of Hope, Youth for Christ, Alcoholics Anonymous, came to believe. These different or community groups we have invited to come and have a table set up in our lobby area with information and sign-ups so that, hey, what are the next steps? I need help, or I need to have a brochure to give to someone who can use this information. So we're trying to come together. We know it's a big issue, and we want to grab arms with those who are already in this and do this together.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that we're doing is 2 groups will launch from this conference, and they're called change groups. And these are more specific Genesis process groups. We use the curriculum to dig deeper into this information, and those will be available for sign up as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and so it's interesting because a conference like this, you can kind of be like, yeah, I'm living in this addiction, and I should sign up for this. But then I think that, you kind of mentioned, but I think that a lot of people who are like, well, I don't really identify myself as somebody who's addicted to this thing or that thing, and so maybe this conference isn't for me. Why should that person change their perspective and say, hey, I need to go to this conference?
I think it's a good question. I think we, I think we do know people who are struggling, and I also think it is just good, valuable truth. And it is a biblical-based program with science, neuroscience of the brain, and how addiction affects the brain. So it's very informative. I think in today's day and age, if we want to be honest with ourselves, we all cope probably in some not good ways. And maybe it's not what we consider addiction, but we go to things that are trying to help us get through life. And these things can become out of control if we don't learn how to effectively cope with truth in our lives and good foundation. So I think it's really for everyone.
Yeah, and something that just comes to my mind in this moment is, I feel like sometimes when I am trying to cope with things, I'll just grab my cell phone, and I feel like we're all addicted to our cell phones. I get a notification every week that says screen time 4 hours. I'm like, whoa, per day? I'm like, that's crazy. So, so how can people, let's say they show up to this conference, whether you want to help or if you're trying to get restored yourself, how can people have some sort of support outside of that? You mentioned these groups, but you come to this weekend, profound speaking, some incredible practical tools, but how should people really take practical steps after the conference to really say, hey, it doesn't just stop this weekend, it needs to go beyond this?
Right. Well, I think part of it is just having community around you and meeting other people, making a connection, knowing that there are people in this community that care, and just taking that step to trust and say, okay, I'm gonna reach out. I think that's a huge step. I know even the church offers small groups, which is another way to connect with people on a different level. But just that step of saying, I can't live in isolation anymore. I need to come out and be with people and heal. I mean, ultimately, that's how we heal, is in community. And so I think and that's what we want to do. We want to come alongside people. We want to welcome people in and say, we are here to help, and to, not because of that we are better, but because we care. And that's the biggest thing. Ultimately, we believe that God cares for us, and we care because He cares for us first. So,
And I think you hit the nail on the head. I'm passionate about community. I think we all need community. We aren't meant to live in isolation. And I think most frequently, a lot of these addictions arise when you're isolated, because you don't have people around you. And so, like you mentioned, you find ways to cope with stuff. And so it's just so vital and so important that each individual realizes that they're not supposed to do life on their own. You need people. And so at a conference like this, you'll meet like-minded people. You'll meet people who are struggling perhaps with the same struggles that you are going through. And so it's an opportunity to kind of find those groups and say, hey, I'm not alone in this. And it's a good reminder that you're not alone in this when you look around the room and see others at this conference, that we have programs, we have small groups, like you said, just opportunities for people to live in connection, in community with one another, so that we can combat these addictions and fight through them and truly get through them and get over it.
Yes, and it really is freedom. I mean, you know, if I go back to people that have gone through Shirley's House of Hope, some clients who were in, you know, complete bondage to drugs or alcohol, heavy chemical addiction, and now living a completely transformed life. I mean, they have community, they have just joy in their life, they have peace in their life because they were able to find help and they were able to find community. And that's what the goal is, really coming together, bringing this to our community, bringing it. I hope that it just sparks something that, you know, we want to be this place that is welcoming and brings that hope to others. So I'm pretty excited about it.
Yeah, and it's just a few weeks away, so we're just getting ready for this.
Yes, so it's, again, it's going to be held at Faith Fellowship. And so how do you connect? How do we register, and do we provide lunch? If you want to kind of go through the schedule, that would be helpful.
Yeah, so if you want to get connected to this conference and attend, you can go to faithfellowship.life. And when you get to the website, there's a tab on the side that says New Beginnings Conference. Simply click the button and it'll lead you to a registration page. And so when you're registering for the conference, there's a lot of things that you can select for there, including lunch. Lunch will be provided on Saturday. You can choose a salad or sandwich right there, and we'll be notified. And if you can't access it online, and if you can't register online, you could simply visit Faith Fellowship right there in McMillan and come on in, and we'll get you registered right there in the church office. And so you can also give us a call and we can register you over the phone. And so there are various ways to get plugged in and connected for that. But yeah, the New Beginnings Conference coming to Marshfield Friday, October 1st from 6 to 9 p.m. and then Saturday, October 2nd from 8:30 to 4:30. And by the way, if you don't register by a phone call, visiting the church, or online, you could show up on Friday night or even Saturday morning and be a walk-in. We'll take you.
Yes, yes. And the fee is $20, but we do have scholarships available. We have some very generous donors who have said, you know, we want people to come. So please just let us know if that is an issue, and we'll definitely, you know, be able to get you to come. We want you to come to this. Yes, you're going to be getting lunch. You're going to be getting a bag of goodies in it, including some handouts from Dean Perry, some practical tools that he's going to walk you through, and some snacks and great things like that. And so, yeah, we're just really excited and hope that you can come.
Yeah, we believe in life change,
Yes.
and we believe that this weekend will provide life change and freedom for many.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.